Hi, everybody. Welcome to another discussion topic on our Drop and Give Me 20 Minutes discussion of different skills that students are going to need to be successful in the workplace while you're in school, all that good stuff. Today, we're talking about effective communication. This is going to be important always because you need to be able to have good written skills. You need to have good online communication. You need to have good in-person communication. It's not easy. It's something you have to practice. You want to definitely make sure that you're getting good at all these things. These are skills you should be honing while you're here. Now, you're going to get a lot of practice with them while you're in different classes, of course, but you will help yourself if you go out of your way to spend a little more time working on your own. Make sure that you feel really confident in the way that you're communicating with other people. You never have to do things alone. Don't worry. The school is always here to help you. I'm going to share my screen and let's walk through a few different strategies or a few different tools you can use to help build your own communication. I will have the links to everything that I'm talking about here. I'll have those on our the YouTube channel just underneath where this video is. So if you want to go back and read through this yourself, please do. This is just a quick article up from teachers talking about why communication skills are important in while you're in college. So, all right, verbal skills. I think this is an issue that I have seen many students, I don't want to say most, but many students not do well at. You need to practice not only being able to speak and carry on. This sounds like I'm being trivial, and I'm really not. But you need to practice being able to speak and carry on a conversation with your colleagues, the students in your class. You should be able to turn to a student in an in-person class or in a group activity or something and just say, "Hey, my name is Mary," and ask a few questions, get a conversation started. You should be able to carry on a conversation for a few minutes. Too often I see students who seem really terrified to speak to another human being. And I understand the pressure that it can bring. I understand having social anxiety with other folks. I suggest that you work on that and that you don't just say, well, I don't know, I feel weird when I talk to people, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to is not an answer. You want to get better at this. We have a variety of resources across the campus. Please reach out to folks who can help you. Or also, just practice. Just walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, my name is Mary. I like cats and books and parks. Tell me about yourself." Maybe be a little smoother than that, but honestly, don't worry about perfection. Who cares? You'll be fine. Just try, just dig in and just start working on conversation. The second thing I'm going to say with verbal communication, your students now, you're about to be very new employees in all kinds of industries. You need to be able to carry on a conversation. This is going to sound again kind of condescending with an adult. You need to be able to speak to your boss in a way that sort of highlights, hey, I'm pretty wonderful. You were lucky to hire me. I'm great here. Too often, again, I see students who can't answer a question when they're asked questions, and not just by me, but I see this around the campus. I see this when they're out in public. They kind of just look down or mumble answers when you're talking to people, when you're talking to a supervisor, when you're talking to a work colleague. Again, this is something to just practice. You may not be born doing it, but you need to be able to look them in the eye, look at them, and you need to be able to clearly speak and say, "Hi, I'm Mary. I work in your tool and die division. I've been here for 3 months. It's so great here. I have this question," or whatever it is. Practice that. Again, when you're talking about getting a job, finding a job, and then being successful at the job, communication skills will definitely help you. I have literally in my career, I have hired hundreds of people. I don't hire people who go, well, I don't know, things or, and this is going to be the kiss of death in any workplace situation. If you're supposed to be talking with someone and you pull out your phone, do not do that. Do not ever do that. I get it. Look, I'm a phone person. My phone is sitting right there. Okay. You can't see it. Oh, you can't see it. It's right here. Phones can be, and I'm using this word not in a clinical sense, they can be really addictive to have. It beeps at you, it boops at you, all of that. It's awesome. I love it. But when you are at work, when you are having a conversation, when you are communicating with other people, when you pull your phone out, it's like you just spit on your supervisor. Don't do that. It's these little things to think about. Remember that at SCTCC, Lisa Moore is our person here. She runs a whole department that will help make sure that you feel ready for an interview, that you feel ready for your new job, you feel ready for all your applications of things. She's here. She'll help you. Verbal communication, so important. That kind of goes in with the nonverbal communication. I've worked in a lot of libraries. I'm your librarian. I've worked in a lot of libraries in my career. And oh yeah, when I see people who sit like at customer service desks and they have their legs crossed and their arms crossed and they're going, what does that say? I hate you and I don't want to talk to you. Nonverbal communication matters enormously when you are in it. So you'll see my nonverbal communication style includes I wave my hands a lot, maybe too much. It could be distracting, but it's how I communicate. Again, you need to think about, you need to look at the person. You need to act like you're thinking. You need to face them. Um, Understand that we're in a communication here. You're talking, I'm listening, then later I'm talking and you're listening. Both of these things matter. Listening matters. A lot of us are bad at this. I will say it's something that I have worked on because I always have something to say. I've really worked on trying to learn to be a better listener. You've met people who are good listeners, and you probably haven't met a lot, but you've met some. They're rare. It is a gift that I admire. But to have good communication, you have to be listening. You can't always just be thinking, okay, I have something really cool that I want to share. And just, I've seen, and I mean, I've been in conversations with this. I have, and I'm embarrassed to say, I have been the person who has done this. Again, I've really tried to work on it. Halfway through somebody else talking, I'll be like, oh, I have something really exciting to say right here. I'm going to step on what they were saying and I'm going to put in my point. I mean, I look like a jackass when I do that. When people do it to me, that's what I think. I'm like, oh, jerk. Seriously, you could have waited 20 seconds for me to just finish the sentence. Learn to be a good listener, especially again, and I'm kind of emphasizing this in a workplace situation. You are new. You will learn many important things while you're here at school, obviously, of course. But whether you're going to class here, whether you're new on the job, you are new. Everyone else around you, those people in charge, they know a lot more than you do. It benefits you to just chill for a second and learn to be a good listener. So if you, like me, kind of struggle with it, build your skill, work on it, practice, and get better. So communication, just in this article here, they talk about being part of group projects. They talk about job interviews. But I mean, again, remember, you're not just here. I mean, there are a lot of aspects in your life where you're going to need to be listening. You listen to people in your family. You may have kids. You're going to need to listen to them. You may be with life partners. You're going to need to learn to listen to them and communicate effectively with them. It makes every aspect of your life easier, better. If you have good, I'm going to say good in-person communication, that's going to be important. But let's talk about some other kinds of communication. So, Harvard talks about ways you can improve your communication skills. Whether you're writing this down, You're saying it in person. You're handing a piece of paper, you're sending a text, social media, whatever. All of that is important. Be clear, be concise. When you are writing anything down in particular, because you have more opportunity to edit yourself when you are writing things, go through and take out, 20% of the words. Take out a quarter of them. Maybe take out half the words. Use the fewest number of words you can to make your point. Now, I mean, especially you're a student right now. You've been in some classes where it's like the instructor is like blah, 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 blah. Are you listening? Probably not. So, for your communication, when you are trying to share an idea, be clear, be concise, think about what you want to say. I talk in my classes about having elevator speeches. So, in a business class, that has a very specific meaning. You are working on honing your pitch for a new idea, and you have the length of time that you ride in an elevator with your boss. Cool. But outside of those specific business classes, what an elevator speech means is kind of have something to say that you can say 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds. 60 seconds is a long time for somebody to listen to you. I know, because I'm trying to get you to listen to me. But be ready. Be ready with what you want to say. Practice it. This is especially if you're being hired. They're going to ask you, why are you applying for this job? And again, I will say, as someone who has done hundreds of job interviews, the people who go, I don't know. I mean, my mom made me apply for this. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to hire somebody who mumbles, looks down, can't communicate. I'm not going to. My time is valuable and I'm not going to mess around. Prepare things ahead of time. Be mindful of your nonverbal communication. Look at other people. I don't want to blame everything on COVID. Seems unfair. But I do feel like a lot of students, kind of at your point here, missed opportunities to be in person and missed those opportunities to have those communication casual opportunities. So, sorry, be better than I am when I'm trying to talk about this communication. But remember, you know, you need to give physical evidence that you are paying attention to someone. Looking at your phone is obvious death to communication. But kind of turning away from them and looking over here or spending the whole conversation looking down. Sure. Yeah. Okay. What is that saying? The other person who sees me doing that is thinking, you don't care about me. You don't care about what I'm saying. You're not listening. I don't like you. So watch your tone. This matters, of course. If you are screaming, consider that's something to be used sparingly. If you're a naturally loud person, and I was just complaining about this the other day. I was in a small little room with someone whose natural tone seemed to just be screaming. It was terrible. I'm backing away. It was awful. Think about how you're coming across with other folks. Practice it. This is a really great opportunity if you have family or roommates or someone living in your house. I promise you, they will be thrilled if you practice some active listening skills with them. Really? That's interesting. Huh. Tell me more about that. Wow. That kind of thing. I'm looking, I'm paying attention, I'm asking just short questions, I'm encouraging them. Be thinking, how can I encourage this person to continue? Sure. I mean, I'm not always interested in every single little story that my husband has to share. He doesn't care when I come rushing home and tell him all the exciting things that happen to me during the day. He doesn't care. But you pay attention because you're having communication that lasts a long time with other people. So this specific conversation will build. And it's not just today, it's not just what we do today, but if you're practicing these online communications, again, with your family, with your life partners, with your kids, with your boss, with your colleagues. If they know that you're a good communicator over time, it's going to help you. It is going to make you better at things. Think about your emotional intelligence. You know, it's tempting to when you're in the work. And again, I've done this. You go into a workplace. A lot of those first jobs, they're not the exciting ones. Your first job, it may be loud, stinky. I mean, I worked in a dish room for a while and I had clothes I could only wear to work. I smelled really bad. Um, and I complained a lot. And I complained a lot while I was at work. That's not impressive. My boss didn't like me. And yeah, I deserved it. So think about your workplace communication skills. You're not the only person who's going to create a positive or a negative organizational culture, but what are you doing to contribute to the culture? If you're in the organization, again, maybe just of your family, but if you're in the organization of your fun new job that you have, what are you contributing? Are you making the mistake that I did at that job where I just complained all the time and was whiny and was like, "Ugh, I don't get paid enough for this." I mean, I didn't have to have that job. I could have quit that job and picked up another one. I was wrong. I was wrong to be complainy. And here we are. Uh, do better than I did. All right, so let's segue over to some writing skills. A lot of you are going to have the opportunity to learn your writing skills while you are here and you're at SETCC because you'll be doing it in a bunch of classes. I think you write something in every class, and if you don't, probably should. Many people are not born to be awesome writers. That's fine. You are not going to be a New York Times best-selling author. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You want to be a good communicator with writing. And everybody can use some instruction. I'm a good writer, but I've been doing it for like 30 years. I've been trying to hone my writing skills, and I have read dozens of books. I've been to some writing classes, and I've been to a lot of school. I've written so many papers in school. And once you get to grad school, man, they make you rewrite them and rewrite them and rewrite them until they're good. It's good practice for me. I'm good at this now. But keep in mind, you don't have to be perfect right away. Let's look over here, I guess, at this is our college library catalog. And I have 474 different results of books. These are held by the library. So these are paper books that are in the library and they're here right now. So it says it's available at our library on the bookshelf, and this is the call number. If you're coming to grab one of these off the shelf, and I encourage you, come grab 5, come grab 20. We're fine. Check them out. Write this number down if you can. And when you come in, they're all in order. And you're not sure where that is? No problems. See me? This is my office. You come and you say, Mary, hey, I need to find this book. And I will clap with glee and take you over to find the right books. You'll have a lot of different kinds of writing that you're going to want to do. So maybe you're doing creative writing in some of your class. Maybe you're taking a social class. Maybe you're just kind of practicing some writing. Maybe you're writing grants. MLA style. Look at that. Do your classes require MLA citation? Here you go. We have the book. So there's a lot. Oh, Chicago style also. Just, shout out to Chicago style. We do also have an APA style book in here somewhere. Browse through this really quickly. Again, I'll put this link in the page and start practicing your writing. There's a huge difference, especially when you get into a workplace, between people who can write decently. Again, you're not a New York Times bestselling author. You will not be. Don't worry. You don't have to be. Decent writing. And people who just kind of scribble down, scribble on their keyboard. I'm keyboarding here. uh, a few kind of broken sentences that don't make sense and don't really flow, or paragraphs that don't flow together. If your writing sounds like a mess, if your writing sounds like you're in fifth grade, nobody wants that. Again, it's these kinds of things. You might be wonderful at your job, but there's going to be 20 people who could be wonderful at that job. It's these other kind of intangible skills that matter. Writing will matter. Being able to be at least a decent enough writer, it matters. You're here going to school now. Bam, grab a book, get better at this. All right, we've talked about in-person communication. We've talked about a little bit about writing. Get some guidance. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention we have the CAS, and we have an actual writing tutor right here on the campus. Seth will help you. So really, this is the time to reach out. Don't be embarrassed and think, I don't know, I don't want to ask anybody for help. That's why we're here. Everyone at this school is here only to help you. So just come get the help. All right, let's talk about our final thing is thinking about some online communication skills. Now, as you can see, again, I said I don't want to talk about COVID all the time. Since COVID, so many things have moved online. Almost every meeting I go to now is online. Um, I have taught and taken online classes. I do online discussion boards. I do online teaching outside of being here. See this video? Online communication. You can judge if it's working or not. But being able to communicate in all of those different ways online is also going to be important. So, think about what does your writing look online? What does your speech sound like online? Can you communicate in a Slack with like workplace folks? Can you communicate in Discord? What does your social media stuff look like? This is not necessarily relevant to communication, but keep in mind when you're applying for jobs that if when somebody Googles you and your social media that is filled with just a horror show of behavior not to do in public, if that shows up, you are not getting hired. So think about either now, before you start looking for the job, trying to get that tidied up, or deleted, and or at the very least set things to private. You want Google to not have a memory of the horrible things that you say. I know I read once that nothing good will ever come when someone like your boss or maybe the newspaper is writing an article about your workplace. Nothing good will ever happen when they look through your social media. I canceled all my social media a while ago, but I used to have a Twitter account that I tweeted at frequently, and my personal Twitter account. And I started to be saying some things on there that looking back later, I was like, oh, I regret this. This was not good. So I found some service that went through and deleted all of my tweets that were older than 3 months. Think about doing that. Think about just deleting it in general. But nonetheless, social media is here. Um, your job may require you or be happy if you have some online skills. So be able to communicate online, be able to speak, be able to write, be able to text, be able to do all of those things. All of that is going to matter. I'm sorry, be sure you can send an email. Again, send an email that doesn't sound like you're some fifth grade little kid. You're a grown up. You're going to be a professional. Your emails that you send to your boss, to your workplace, all of that needs to sound like you have grown up professional skills. You do. Let's make sure that you look as awesome as you possibly can. All right. This went a little long, but that's all right. I want you to be good at communication. I want you to be really understanding that all of it matters. Online communication matters. In-person communication matters. Written communication, it matters. This is the time to get better at it. Don't worry that, I'm not quite good enough. I don't really know what I'm doing, or I'm not going to be perfect. It doesn't matter. Look at this. See this? Not perfect, but we're still communicating, we're still sharing ideas. All right, reach out to folks across the campus. We're all here to help you. We're all here to make sure that you're confident and awesome. And hey, we want you to go out and show off those SETCC skills that you learned while you were here in the best way. Your good communication skills will help. You feel confident? You feel like you're ready to do this? I think you're ready to do this. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.